We are live, coming here with a brand new BMF the podcast show. I'm your host Trevor, and tonight we are joined by my pal, my buddy Alex. Alex, how you doing tonight?
Yo, yo, yo.
And we're here, just the two-man crew. The good old OGs. What else is new? We talk about all inness and stuff like that, and the same two people, always all in. What else is new? Um, no video either from Andy tonight. A little disappointing, but here we are, episode 12, banger of an episode tonight. We had purges, we had former champs go down, we had bananas in an elimination. We literally had it all tonight. And Alex, I'm very I'm fired up tonight to talk about tonight's episode, especially with the OG himself. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I mean, we have the old school vibes now. We have the BMFE crew, and like you said, there was just a lot of good stuff for tonight. Is this episode 12?
I believe so, right?
I
Is
think
it
it's
11?
I think it is it. I think it's 12, right?
Yeah, I said 12 on the opening.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
pretty
I'm just thinking, like, of the 12 episodes, I would say this is probably top 3. I mean,
Yes,
I thought this
100%.
episode was really, really good. And again, when you look at the season as a whole, I kind of like break it down into 3 chunks. I think about the first 2 episodes being like the Air Invitational, and then the first 7, 8 episodes where we had like the team format, and then the past 3, I think, where we've had the individual. I think this was definitely the best of the individual episodes. And it makes sense, right? Because we have the purge, we have like more stuff than just one person getting eliminated. But the purge, the mini final, the elimination, like all of it was really, really good. And I think we're seeing that, like, you're going to get good episodes when you have a good season, an individual format like this, and like there's a couple layups left, but not a lot. And so like you're really going to have most of the time like really good head-to-head eliminations, and I feel like we got that tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I think this season, especially coming off the past 3, 4 seasons, like this needed to be a home run season. This needed to be a great season. There has not been a time this season, like there I guess, hand up. There might have been like a moment where you're like a little sketch, but all last season we were joking about, oh, we're in limbo, very limbo-y and shit like that. Like this season, like my mental health from the show is great. Like it has been awesome. And like tonight is just like, you would figure by like an episode 12, you're just like, oh, can we just get to the next season already? Like I'm very intrigued. Like I still don't know. Like, I mean, we talk about a big name going home tonight from the female side, which arguably I had on paper as maybe 1 or 2 finishing this season. And she just kind of gave up. And it's kind of like, which way are we going with this? So I I'm very intrigued by the season. And, for as much shit as we want to give BME and all this stuff, like this was a make or break season and they've delivered. And hand up, like as much as I hate to suck their dick, they've done a great job.
They have, and like I don't want to say this is going to end up being like an A plus plus season, but like we're certainly on track. And if you just look at the numbers, like after tonight's episode, we only have 6 guys left.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. Like we're going to start the final maybe within the next 3 episodes. And so if you think, given that like most, 90+% of the season has been really, really good, and you assume that like the final is going to be good too, like again, like you said, like usually episode 12, 13, 14, you're just like, can we get through this? Can we get to the end? We're usually talking on the pod about like, was this the worst episode of the season, or was this bottom
Yes.
4 worst episode? This season, it's been the opposite. We're talking about, is this the best, second best, whatever? And we really only have like, if they can give us like a few more good episodes, which I think they can, especially if you look at like the female cast that's left, I think we're in for a few more good like eliminations, drama, and then we get to, I don't know, 5 people left on each side, and they say like, we're doing one more purge or something, going to the final, and then we're just like, let's go, like we're to the finish line.
So we're at 6 guys and 7 girls now, correct?
Correct.
I mean, if we get 5-5, so that would be what? God, the soda is just always so classic. That'd be 4 episodes if one person went home, correct?
4 more
Well,
episodes?
we're at 6, 7, right? So you would have
Yeah.
2, 3, and then your 4th episode would be like the start of 5v5.
Yes.
So at a minimum, you're looking at probably 5 to 6 episodes left of the season, which would bring us to that 18 total.
Yeah. Yeah, like unless they do something to really, really fuck up the season by like bringing in a redemption house or something, I don't think we're in store for a 22 episode season, which we've had in the past.
No, and that's what and that's my point. If we get to an 18 episode season and that's it, like I don't want to like this, if this. I'm telling you, actually, I'm saying this. 18 episode season. That no matter how it ends, it's their best season since probably Rivals 3.
The glory days.
Yeah, in that 20 to 28 range for me, at least. Like this is by far the best season they've had. It's been intriguing. And I don't know if it's because like last season, like don't get me wrong, last season was one of the worst. Like we had nobody on that season. Like it was painful to talk. Like I felt like watching the show for 90 minutes and then trying to talk about it for like an hour was like it was painful.
It was hell.
Yeah.
I think the road a very they say the path to 270 on election night. I think the path to a great season that's 18, 19 episodes where 90% of those episodes are really, really good is not just in play, but like probably the most likely outcome here.
Yeah.
You just got to keep it up for a few more episodes.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like we're on a great pace right now. It's
Yeah.
just
And we're all
this,
in for it.
I'm knocking on wood. I'm feeling good, but I'm excited, you know? Like I felt like tonight was a good episode. And we needed it. The Purge, like I felt like, they've dropped the ball a few times on that kind of plot twist. I thought it was fine tonight. Like,
Well,
and
let's dive into the episode then, and then we'll get.
well, you know how we dive in
Yeah.
with your Alex's streak, the streak being back. Alex, your streak.
Yes, my streak, and I know for all of our listeners, I know whenever Andy's on the podcast,
Oh,
we always like to tell him that it's his streak. It kind of makes him, it gives him something to look forward to. But at the end of the day, we all know what's going on here.
yeah, little make a wish. We're just kind of like streak. Blah, blah,
Yeah, he was born with a potato for a heart.
blah. Start on third base. So yeah, the streak. I mean, what else is new? And then we go into kind of the first segments where we kind of see. I mean, it was kind of bats that you would see where I mean they were just jumping in trash cans, which is kind of smirk. And then I don't know if this is too much foreshadowing, but something's got to happen with Aviv's foot. I mean, we've heard about it way too much already. Like, I think, hear me out, Alex. Have we heard the words Aviv's foot more than we've heard the words Aviv, like separate? Like, I think Aviv's foot has been talked about more than Aviv, and and the foot injury has been for 2 episodes.
And she's been here for 3 months.
Yes,
I
seriously.
I think that's a great point. And they on the next on, they didn't say anything about her foot, but they did show like a thing of like her foot like hitting the ground really hard again.
Just that's a classic challenge thing. Is like, oh, my foot hurts. Blah blah blah. I think I'm hurt. Blah 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 blah. And then during the daily or whatever, it's like right before the commercial break. It's like her jumping and it's like landing and it cuts to a commercial. It's essentially they always do that shit.
And they do like the 2-3 episode build up.
Oh,
there's always some foreshadowing to it.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at is like, are we foreshadowing too much? Where is she gonna? And I correct me if I'm wrong. Was this a stir the prop of an injury or something? Somebody going home?
I don't think so. I think we
Honorable mention at stir the prop. Maybe I don't know. I just feel like, is there a chance she goes home for an injury? No way.
I think so.
Wow.
I don't know, especially now because there is one more girl.
Mm-hmm.
So it could give them a shot to like maybe speed the season up. I don't know. We'll get into it, but I think it's if I had to guess yes or no, I think she's going home because of it.
Wow. Okay. So let's talk about this daily, this purge slash mini final. I mean, kind of like, the classic run through the sand. You could finish some puzzles, nothing too great. What was your thoughts?
So, um, so I liked the challenge itself. I thought it was very mini final e. You put them in sand, you have them run. You could tell that it. I mean, like Jordan got second place, and that's not to take anything away from Kylan, but I'm just saying that like everything was hard for everybody who did this. I mean, we
Mhm.
literally saw a champion quit, which we'll get into. Um, but I liked the daily. I think where my mind went as while I was watching this is like, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Is like, do we waste something here by doing a purge and a mini final combined? Because I think on one hand you could say like this was like a really good way to do it and just like do it all at once and it makes it like really interesting. You're very invested. Like I was like watching it like very intently the whole time, being like, who's in first, who's in last, who's in second to last, all of this. But on the other hand, you could say that like on this season, some of the dailies have been kind of weak. And if
Mhm.
you were to make this challenge, let's say just a mini final, then it's still interesting. You still get people dying, passing out, all that. And then the next week, if you have a daily that's maybe like on paper, like a B or a B plus, and you just say, hey, let's just make this purge, then that kind of gives that one a boost.
Yeah, no, I get what you're
So,
saying.
so what do we think in terms of just like doing kind of because the mini final is a staple. We always look forward to it. We have it like I would say once a season. Um, so just combining that with the purge, I feel like on one hand was good, but on the other hand, it's like, are you putting too many eggs in one basket in one episode?
I'm fine with it. And here's why. There's got to be some reward and some negative to having a mini final, is my opinion. So,
Okay.
like, if you can't finish a mini final, if you're last, you deserve to go home, is how I look at it. Like, we have 7 fucking people on, or it was, no, it was 8 people at the time, correct? Yeah,
Yeah,
8 people at the time. If you finish 8th, you should go home, my opinion.
that's a good
So,
point. And you should go home if you're eighth in something like this.
yeah, and that's
But
my
not,
point.
but not if it's like like controlling a go kart or something
No,
like that.
no, no, no. In a mini final, I look back at 3 words: earn your stripes. And that is the perfect time to earn your stripes. And if you, like I said, if you can't finish in the top 8, you deserve to go home. See ya. Hope to see you never.
Yeah, that's fair. And I feel like one another reason why it's like fine, I guess, to combine them is because this season has been so good. Whereas like in past seasons, if like last season, let's say, where we were just like we talked about it, but we were just like looking for anything to get enjoyment from, we would be like, all right, give me a purge this episode, give me something different next episode, give me a double elimination, a mini final, and just like give me one little thing where I feel like we have this tonight. And even though they used them both on tonight's episode, like I'm still extremely excited for next week.
Let me go this route with you. You had Nehemiah and Laurel both go home tonight from the mini final. Before watching this tonight, you would probably say Laurel has a good chance of winning the final. After watching tonight's episode in that mini final, do you think Laurel or Nehemiah would ever win a final against this competition? My point is, if you can't win a mini final or
Yeah,
even get 7th, there's no chance of you to actually win the fucking show. So you don't deserve to be there.
it's a good point. I like it.
And let's just dive into Laurel finishing last and just kind of quitting. Um, One of the biggest, like, I don't want to say like shocks of the season, but just disappointments of the season. Like, what the fuck was that performance tonight? Like, it wasn't like she just like screwed stuff up or whatever. She quit. And like That's what bothered me. Like, it was like she just gave up, and she wasn't even out of it.
Yeah, it was really weird to watch. It was shocking to watch, and I wonder like how much truth do we put into what Kara was kind of saying, where
Mhm.
she's like, Laurel is here with herself, Kara, Ginny, Tori, Rachel, like a very very strong group of girls, and Laurel's only win besides All Stars was free agents, right? So on
Mhm.
free agents, she's with like she competed in a final against Nani and Devin.
Right.
Like, and then you look at the rest of that cast, and like she beat Jasmine and Anissa, and like not a good cast in that season.
Did beat
Or I guess
Cara, but with a broken hand.
yes,
Nice.
yes. Well, yeah, her and Cara have always been a thing, but like back in the day,
Well,
you
yeah.
didn't have a cast that like was as this like stacked as the rest of the female cast. And I don't know. The part I don't know is where Cara was like Laurel is out of shape and she doesn't want to run against them. Like, I mean, she
Yeah.
definitely looked out of shape in the daily, but like if you were to do 10 mini finals, I don't think Laurel gets last every time here. But going back to where we started, like it was very surprising. Like
Yeah.
Laurel would have been, I mean, you said it, she would have had some of the best odds to finish first here. And
Yeah,
she finishes last.
we literally talked about this last week, and we had her, Cara, Tori was kind of that fourth, Jenny was up there, like, even Rachel. I mean, there was, like, 5 of them that you could argue, like, certain orders, and, like, to be behind Michelle and Aviv and stuff like that, it's like, "Whoa, what happened?" Like, um, just kind of a shock. And then we look at the kind of the guys in Nehemiah going home. I've never had an issue with Nehemiah. I actually like Nehemiah. I just don't think he brings, like, he's very low key, plays the game very straight up. He's not here to, you know, blow up the house, or doesn't really have a big personality or anything like that. But like, I'm fine with him. I mean, I think he's a solid. I don't think he's an amazing competitor. I don't think he's a great competitor. I think he's solid. I mean, I'd rather see him than like a Josh on the season.
Yeah, well, that's
Friend of the program.
friend of the program. That's an interesting comparison because when I think of Nehemiah, I just think like he is a classic example of how the challenge and even like reality TV has changed in the past 2 decades. Like the challenge when Nehemiah came on, like his real world season was 2005.
Yeah.
So this is like pre-internet, pre-social media, and like when he was a challenge like contestant and like coming on those seasons, he was just like he is today, like a normal guy, wasn't trying to like get fame, like athletic, in good shape, all of that. And that's still kind of who he is, but like those same reasons are why like they didn't cast him, in any of the 30 seasons, not many of the 20 seasons, like because he doesn't bring a lot of drama.
Yeah.
But I feel like especially for anybody who's watched the challenge since back in the day, like you miss that type of challenger, like a Nehemiah, like a Landon, those types of people who come on and they're like maybe they're not like amazing or they're not like as good as a CT or Bananas, but like they're just normal guys,
Hmm.
and that's I think is just like the classic what Nehemiah exemplifies. And he just had a classic Nehemiah season, but he had his moment. He beat CT.
Yeah.
People forget that. He's always going to have that. He is a challenge.
He was on this season.
He was on this season. People forget that. And so I don't know. I don't think like I'm going to miss Nehemiah because we are on episode 13. But if we lost Nehemiah like episode 1 or 2, I'd be like, I kind of want to see some more from him.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. So from this mini final, Kylan and Tori both pick up the win. Nehemiah and Laurel purged, and then Theo and Michelle second to last. So Theo automatically goes into elimination for the guys. Michelle some time penalty or some penalty for the next EP. Kylan and Tori winning. Let's start there. Kylan, Kylan, my man. Um, Kylan looks good. He's been sharp this season. I don't. The thing is, he can go against Bananas. He can go against Jordan, and I understand he beat both of them tonight. I'm still putting my money on both of them.
over Kylan.
Yes, even after tonight, like he looked good tonight. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I think so. Where my mind's been with Kylan basically all season is, obviously this is season 40, so they did like a ton of promoting the season beforehand. They had a ton of like cast videos, Instagram reels and all of that. And one of my takeaways from just like watching that for a few weeks was like how highly all of the guys and girls spoke of Kylan.
Hmm.
And at the time, I was like, all right, this is kind of weird. He had done one season, he made it pretty far, but like he didn't even make the final last season, right? He lost elimination before that. So I was like, all right, this probably means Kylan has somewhat of a good season. And then just like watching the season unfold, I feel like we got 3-4 episodes deep and Kylan hadn't done anything. So I was still kind of thinking like, all right, why did they talk so highly of him? And then he beat Darrell, I think, in an elimination. And it's like, all right, kind of makes a little more sense, but I still don't get some of it. And then he beat Devin. And now it's all starting to click, I guess.
Yeah.
But there is still some part of me that's like, what is the ceiling with him? What's going to happen if he has to do like a true headbanger, like that type, like face some type of adversity? Like we
And that's
saw
the thing.
tonight, like Bananas has done this for 25 seasons. Like he knows how to, if he's behind, how to come back. Like I just want to see something like that from Kylan, my man.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. Like, I just need to see more of him, even though like what we've seen is good.
Yeah.
But it's just hard for me to choose, him over Bananas or Jordan. I've seen those guys perform in the most stressful moments of this show, and they've delivered time and time again. Kylan, on the other hand, you haven't seen that yet. So, I mean, hopefully he's in the final. And looking at the guys, like, I mean, I'll say that for later. Forget what I just said. We'll get into that.
Okay.
And then Theo, Michelle, both of them going in for finishing, or Theo, excuse me, going in. Michelle getting the time penalty. Theo finishing second to last. What do we think about that? Surprise? I feel
Yes.
like me and you were very high on him throughout the entire season. And like, I don't want to say I was disappointed by him, and I don't want to get into the elimination yet, but like, he really didn't have like a one shining moment, I feel like, from the season. Like, I feel like he was there, you know?
Yeah, I mean he is interesting because, like you said, we were both very high on him. I'm still high on him, but he just didn't look quite the same.
Mhm.
I mean, it's we should not forget to point out that he is literally blind in one eye. Like that's like something that we joke about on the show, but like he literally has like one eye. Like that has to affect almost everything they do on this show in some way or another. But I also think back to War of the Worlds 2, which was his second season. He did really well on. I think he won 3 eliminations. Um, but even that season, he wasn't really involved too much. Like they didn't give him a ton of screen time, ton of confessionals, which I hate because like I loved him on War of the Worlds. Like I think he is good with the camera. He's good with like interacting with the cast. So I don't know why they didn't give him more time then or this season, but um, where I land, I guess, is like I still want to see him back. I mean he made it pretty far, but I want to see him have like a redemption type season. I still want him to take home the gold.
Absolutely. I've seen this a few times now in the chat. Tommy Tsunami, Mikey the Doctor, Ryan McCord, the OGs. What else is new? But I saw this in the chat, and I wasn't going to bring this up. But Corey and Puzzles, like, he must have cheated or something. Or Corey's. I saw something too. Corey has kids. Did he
I
get
think
help by them?
Yeah, I think that's how he's learning these puzzles because he's working with the kids that he does have.
He's got kids.
Did you see? Did you see the typo?
No, what I miss?
So in the daily, they were showing like the names of all the contestants. They did it kind of in 2 ways. One was as they would like do the big zoom out wide shot where it'd be
Yeah.
like bananas climbing the mountain in front and then like two people in back, and they would do like the little arrows, kind of like viewing a Mario Party board, and it would say like bananas, Jordan, Theo. But then they also showed they did it a couple times during the daily where they did like standings where they would show like the top five. And on the very first time they did the guys standings, they had Corey fourth or fifth overall, Corey.
Oh, Jesus
I
Christ.
mean, who's signing off on
Well,
this?
you look at that. I don't know if you noticed or anybody else noticed. During one of the first scenes of the challenge tonight, they showed the Bananas Angels thing, and they left Laurel off of it. Like a complete spoiler of tonight's episode. I didn't really think of anything during the time. I literally just saw it and I was just like, huh, interesting. Not sure if anybody caught that, but
So you know they must like have a clip or like a thing, a graphic that's like, here's Bananas Angels before this number episode.
yes.
Here's them after Laurel gets eliminated, and they just jumped at one episode.
Yeah, exactly. The same intern that fucked up the name, and I work in game presentation, so I understand how that all feels, but like that shit can't happen. Come on.
I love it.
But
What about anything else from the daily? Kyle, we talked about Kylan. Tori winning, I feel like was impressive.
what
Aviv finishing was impressive. I know we've talked about her foot.
yeah. It was very like I don't know. It was fine. So I don't know how bad Aviv's foot actually is. Um I know that injury does suck from being a runner. You can look up my stats online. Um but I don't know.
So
She's she's so interesting to me. Like I just don't get a read for her.
I know, and I kind of like that.
God, she's like almost like in like trying to think of the best word. In like Mario Party when you still haven't unlocked a character and it's like the shadow and you're trying to like click on them but you can't. Like that's the vibe I get with her. You're like, I want to choose that person, but like you still can't.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
No, it's definitely not what you're thinking. All right, so let's go back to the house. Right? Is that where we're at now?
Yeah, so I will say I love this episode. Thought it was very interesting. The Butch's girlfriend weak link of the episode was the fact that we knew from the second that
Tori won.
Jordan finished second, what was going to happen. We knew Tori was obviously going to pick Bananas to go in over Jordan, and so like they didn't go to the club tonight. This next section I feel like and it wasn't long. I feel like they got to the elimination pretty early, but it was definitely like the weak link of tonight's episode.
Yeah, I mean, we all knew, and I think the scene was pretty classic when we go to the deliberation and Bananas walks in and what was he clipping his toenails on the table? And I mean, just like here's the thing, love him or hate him, he knows what the fuck he's doing, and he is a great showman. Like he is so good for the show. Like, like I said, love him or hate him, he's damn good at what he does.
So I agree, but I'll admit the thought did go through my mind tonight. Um, are we getting too much of it?
Oh, come on. I mean, that's just the Bananas take. Like,
When Bananas win, I mean, I feel like we as a podcast have a pretty high Bananas threshold. But I mean, goddamn, when they sent him into elimination and he's mooning the whole cast as he's walking down, it's like,
perfect.
can you just like do one thing that isn't sticky for like 5 minutes of the episode?
What about when Theo was talking about Bananas and his big head, and they kind of like blew his big head up and stuff?
That was
Like,
awesome.
I mean, like
I think it was Corey that said that.
Corey, yeah, excuse me. Just such a good moment, like so good.
It is. I mean, we're on what is it? It's night 3 straight episodes of just straight Bananas. I feel like we're just. I need just a little break from Bananas for like 10 seconds to just let me catch some air.
God, I mean, he's been crushing it. If he wins the season, it might be his best performance. And I know we were talking about that last week. Like he's been on like across the board, like entertainment wise, gameplay, like
2
he's been
elimination wins now.
he's yeah. When was the last time Bananas won 2 eliminations in the same season? A while.
Yeah.
Like he's been crushing it this season. So let's go to the elimination. Elimination, Bananas versus Theo. And it's basically like, do you know the game like Kerplunk? With you stick the little pegs or
Oh,
whatever, and then you drop like a marble, and you're trying not to get the marbles. See how long?
okay.
But essentially, you're like running through it. What'd you think about it? I felt like, and I don't think we've ever said this on the show. You have Bananas, you have Theo on the other side. This elimination was made for Bananas completely. Like a guy who's what Bananas is what 5'2" at best versus a guy who's 6'5". Like Bananas has that in the bag, and like the fact that it was that close, and fair play to Theo, like it was very entertaining. It was interesting, and I was very impressed by Theo's performance tonight, even though we lost. Very good in performance.
Yeah, I think they both had good performances. I just like the elimination itself and what it was. I really, really liked it. Like it didn't seem like it would be something that was really fun to watch, but I think it was. And I think the reason why I watched it or why I liked it, um, so stick with me here. It reminded me of Mario Party
Oh my!
in a way because I feel like one of my favorite things about Mario Party is that it is the great equalizer and it uses luck to the perfect level. And what I mean by that is there's a ton of luck in Mario Party.
Is there?
Luck, luck is everywhere, but at the end of the day, if you're better at Mario Party, you're going to have a better shot at beating somebody. And that's kind of what this was like in the sense that, like, when it first started and they get to the high low and they're just like doing the cards, I was kind of mad because it seemed too randomy and lucky y. But I, but like if you think about it, they alternated after the first round. So whoever got to flip the first one and get two and like have a better shot at getting 2 pulls, it didn't really matter because the second round it kind of nullified. And the very first round, it wasn't like it was a coin flip. It was whoever got there first, and
Yeah,
Bananas beat Theo. So I liked it because the whole thing, there was some sort of like luck to it with the cards, but it wasn't something that like couldn't be overcome. And yeah, it looked like Theo maybe had a little bit of like a disadvantage to start with the way the number of the pulls was going, but I think he caught up a little bit. And
yeah,
like at the end of the day, I don't think that's why he lost. Like he is 6'7". Like he's not gonna fucking win that.
yeah.
But I liked it because it was a good balance of skill and some luck and a decent amount of strategy too.
Well, it's funny you bring up Mario Party because I also was thinking of that Mario Party mini game where talk about luck of where you like go up to a card and then you punch it and you're trying to get the highest number possible, like the 3 cards. That's kind of the vibe I got of like how many cards you get and stuff like that. Like I'm just surprised, like I don't know. I was just surprised by the whole thing. But Bananas, like we said, pulling out the dub. The elimination was made for him. But
And the I think somebody mentioned it in the chat. Um, the last time Bananas and Theo went in, they were locked in cages, so it was also a disadvantage to Theo. And Theo won that one.
God,
It was cool visually watching this, where two things. One, when they showed the little shots of like the little like the cylinders, and you just saw all those fucking pulls in there, and it's just like, how the fuck do they even get through this? And they were doing like the when they were doing the minute rounds, they were doing it like with ease. They were
oh
getting
my
through
God, they
like
were getting it in like
45
20
seconds.
seconds.
Yeah. And then it was funny too, the last couple rounds, when you saw Bananas doing it, and he was literally like his like body did not touch the ground. He was just like on top of each pull. And I almost wonder if we can't fucking tell because we weren't inside those things, but like it kind of looked like Theo wasn't doing that, and maybe he couldn't have because of where the pulls were. But it seemed like if you're Bananas and you're like kind of you start at the very top as high as you can get. Then at worst case, like you can fall and like catch yourself on other ones and keep going. Whereas if you're on the ground, like you can't fucking bend upwards to get there. So I
Yeah.
kind of liked it.
No, it was something different that we haven't seen before, and it was very like it was funny that we probably had one of the biggest snakes in the house win, as in bananas, slithering through the kerplunk. But overall, like I don't know, as much as I want a headbanger, and I've said it time and time again, it was good to see something different that we haven't seen in a while or seen at all. So, fair play to that. And bananas beating Theo. I mean, damn too. Like the fact that Theo, I think I had Theo finishing like fourth this season or third. I had him. I think I had him third. I think I had bananas, Jordan 1, 2, and Theo being third. Um, it does kind of suck to see him go.
It does. And I mean, Theo he's the type of person that he's the type of competitor that when he loses, he's still going to do good at basically anything that it is. And, his height is going to help him at a lot of things. Tonight it didn't. Mikey the doctor in the chat says, imagine, wait, imagine Josh trying this, or even worse, Anissa. I saw the Josh comment, and then my mind instantly went to Anissa. Anissa doing this, like, how many pulls did they get to start the first round? 8? Could she have gotten through with 8 pulls? Could she have gotten
Yes.
through with no pulls?
Come on. I think she would still be there today.
All right, so do you think she could have gotten through with 8 pulls?
Let me ask you this first. No chance on that. The one that Theo had to get through. What do you think she completes first? Pig roast or Theo amount of pulls? What does she finish first?
I mean, it would have to be the pulls. Just because she would rot away to nothing to the point where she would be thin enough to squeeze through there.
But at what cost? How long would that be?
I mean, it would be months. She might be dead. I don't know. What if you gave Anissa Theo's final thing that he got stuck on? You put her in front of that and you say go, and then you say you can go along the sides and actually take the pulls out and make it easier for yourself. Do you think she gasses out just like running to the sides and taking the pulls out before she gives herself enough room to crawl through there?
I think she would sprain her ankle and she would be DQ'd before that happens.
Like Aviv?
God, well, she's still performing.
Oh my God. That's a great point, Mikey. What if Anissa did what Bananas did and like kind of went over the top and like kind of laid on the poles? I think they might just snap. And then anything's in play.
That is true. All right, let's move on. So Bananas picks up the win over Theo, and then you have Bananas vote in Michelle, Cara, and Olivia. Pretty straightforward vote, nothing too crazy there. And that was the end of the EP. Michelle, Cara, Olivia going in. Reminder: Michelle also has a time penalty at the start of the next EP. Thoughts on those 3 going in? I feel like we're due for a good female elimination.
Yeah, I feel like we are. And we obviously don't have to worry about a purge next week. So Michelle, Olivia, Cara, and the other 4 girls are Tori, Jenny, Rachel, and Aviv.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about who's going to get last, and I'm ruling Aviv out. I don't know. I'm ruling Aviv out. But I feel like the worst possible elimination we have left would be like Michelle versus Olivia.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we got like Michelle versus Cara or Michelle versus Rachel, I think that's depending on what it is. Like Michelle's still good enough to maybe be like an underdog threat. So I feel like you said, I think we are due for a good female elimination.
Hmm.
Yes, Tommy. Era 3, baby.
I mean, that's a crazy shirt. The disrespect to Era 2, but it's all good. Anything else on tonight's EP before we get into some segments tonight?
So real quickly, just recapping the guys, since we lost 2 guys tonight, we have 6 left. I
Mhm.
feel like they're pretty. We don't need to do a full ranking, but just tell me if you agree with my tiers. I think it's
Yep.
pretty clear. We have 3 tiers of 2. The top tier, because Theo was kind of in the middle there.
Yeah.
Top tier is Bananas and Jordan. They're the goats. The second tier is Kylan and Corey, just like
Mhm.
your classic good middle of the road guys. And then the last tier is Josh and Derek.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Agree.
And I do feel like, I mean, we're not going to get it next week because it's a girls' elimination. But I do want Josh or Derek to go home. Like they are the fat here still.
Yeah, but the
Like,
thing is if those two go home and then our final 4 guys is Bananas,
yes,
Jordan, Corey, and Kylan, I'm very excited about that final. I think
that's
that's a damn good
awesome
4.
final.
Yeah.
And then if you took because now we have Laurel gone, which was kind of a toss up there because she was expected to go to the final. If you assume that Michelle, Olivia, Vive all go home somehow, that gives you a final 4 of Tori, Cara, Rachel, and Ginny. That's a damn good final 4 too, all
I
from
know.
different eras.
I know. Mikey Doctor writes, you don't think Kylan is in a tier above Corey? I think they're
I think
close. I think you could argue that case. I think it goes, I think we all agree. Tier 1 is like Bananas, Jordan. And then tier 2, like the next person for sure after those 2 is Kylan. I think
yeah,
we can all agree on that. And then it goes Corey. But it's like, do you really want to give
I don't
Kylan
think
an
he's
entire
far
tier
enough
2?
away to have his own tier.
Correct. So okay.
All right, so should we do some segs?
Yeah. I love Sags.
All right, let's do some segs. I think since this is a throwback, I think we're gonna do a throwback seg.
Whoa. Throwback. It's not Thursday.
I think we're gonna do a little BMFE special with Pluto playback.
Oh, Pluto playback. Thank God I have that on right now, so I know what's happening.
I'm getting there right now. Tell me what's going on.
Well, right now I'm
You
watching a
sure?
commercial with
Is this Yellowstone?
Turtle's girlfriend and maybe Tony Soprano's daughter. Are you not watching this commercial?
Is it the Yellowstone commercial?
No.
Oh, I got a different one.
I got a different one. I had a commercial with Turtle's girlfriend from Entourage and Tony Soprano's daughter.
She's bad.
She's very bad.
Now I got a dog food commercial.
Now I got a horseshoe casino ad.
It's a great radio.
So I'll tell you right now, the episode right now on Pluto Playback is the last episode before the finale of Rivals 2.
Ooh, female elimination.
Yes. Diem and Anissa are already down
Okay,
after the daily with the colors. And now Cara and what's her name? Cara and Cook won just a minute ago. And now the guys have to vote in. Will it be Emily and Paula going in, or will it be Camilla and Jemmy going into elimination?
God, this is like the classic. I feel like this happened with the guys on Rivals 1, where
Mhm.
they have these groups of friends, and then they trim everybody else to the point where there's always that one last decision where it's basically like everybody's picking between their two, like their number 1 and number 2,
Yeah.
that they never hoped it would come to. Jordan, God. Emily was on this season. People forget that.
Emily's bad.
CT.
Yeah, I mean, think about how many people from this season that we're watching is on still.
I know.
Emily was on the season. Jordan was on the season. Bananas is on the season. CT was on the season.
Derek.
Come on.
Derek and Rob.
Derek and Rob. God, doesn't Jemmy hate ketchup?
Yeah, Jimmy sucks. God, Jimmy's fucking horrible. She doesn't even look like the same person these days.
Support the troops, as her shirt says. God, you know who's bad? Is Cook.
Cook.
I love Cook. Bring her back.
I think wasn't. I wish Boogie Brown was here. I think Cook was an alternate,
I think he
or
boogied
maybe
on his
one of
way
the
out.
one of the All-Star seasons. Oh, there's Camilla. I love Pluto playback.
God, Pluto's awesome. God, how many years
Is that
ago was this?
Anissa?
Yes.
Did
She
Anissa
partners with him.
did Anissa eat Anissa?
Okay.
God,
God, look how
Emily's
bad
skinny.
Emily looks. That doesn't even look like Kara.
Who was that guy wearing shorts to her ankles? Was that Jimmy?
Yes.
I mean, look at Wes. Is this skinny Wes?
Yes. This is post steroids. All right. So there's your Pluto playback. Nice rivals too. Great fucking season.
All right.
What else we got? This day challenge history?
Yes, we have this day in challenge history. It's not a trivia question, and there's only one thing, but I had to bring it up, and I think we have to get our stats department on this. Is this the first time that we have a this day in challenge history that is referenced on that day's episode?
Explain.
So on this day in challenge history, Jordan beat Theo in War of the Worlds 2.
Wow.
And they talked about that tonight. Theo said his only elimination loss was against Jordan. They tried to do a little tickle and act like Tori might send Jordan in. We all knew that wasn't going to happen. But they very specifically called that out. And 5 years ago, on this day, we saw an episode where Jordan beat Theo.
Sorry, I have to stop this conversation real quick, and I apologize for ruining this day in challenge history. Tommy Tsunami saying Jemmy is bae and I would lay Jemmy down on my pillow. Like, are we talking about the same fucking person right now? Like, Tommy. Listen,
Tommy's got to go see.
you have had nothing but great takes all season long. You've been a great addition to this podcast. This is by far the worst take. Like, we might have to send you to the redemption house after that comment. Like, that was one of the worst takes I've ever seen in our comments history.
I don't know if you can come back from that.
No, I might just have to block. It might just have to be. Next week might be a ban. I don't know. Like, this is bad. This is bad, and not the bad in a good way. Like, bad.
I don't know if there's some sort of misunderstanding or some reference that we're not getting, but yeah, I mean, if I caught Jimmy in my bed, I mean, I couldn't even deal with it.
No, I'd call the police. He's hiding in your window, snatching your people up, trying to rape you on your bed. Hide your kids. That's the vibe I get.
I mean, what do you do in that situation? I think I would instantly go downstairs and grab a bottle of Heinz and just start squirting.
But surely, like, I'm not in a city that's known for Heinz or anything like that. Maybe a stadium was named after it or something at some point in time. I only live like a few blocks down from the Heinz Museum or anything. I don't know. So,
yeah, that just
Tommy
sounds.
Tsunami says he wants to be on the pod, which I am very open to having other people. I mean, we're looking for applicants. I mean, literally, I think some guy named Andy Burge used to be on this pod, but like, I think this is like what, episode 12 this season. I think he's missed like 4 EPs. So like,
That's terrible.
Don't get me wrong. Like, there might be a Photoshop graphic that comes out next week that might be help wanted, stir the pod. I don't know. Just my thought.
Was it Rivals 2 or a different season? Didn't Jordan make some insult about Jimmy?
Yes.
Or we don't bring that up.
Yes. He is. Yeah. Jordan. Yeah. Well,
Trev, I will say I'm a little disappointed. I mean, I just brought up something that's never happened before on this day in challenge history. and just got instantly cut off.
I mean, sorry. When you get a comment as ridiculous as that, like you have to just stop everything and just like, come on, Tommy. Tommy,
Speaking, go ahead.
I think we do owe Tommy a podcast. I don't think he's been a part of a Mount Rushmore, but I know we've had other people on, Ryan McCord on the pod and stuff like that. I think a Mount Rushmore with Tommy Tsunami might be wild.
Well, two things. One, I thought we just put a ban on him because of the whole Jimmy comment.
No, it won't be. It will be for the off season. Like it won't be for the rest of the season. Clarification. It will be an off season pod, Mount Rushmore. I'm always down for off season pods of doing stuff
Well,
like
in two, it looks like Tommy Tsunami has his own pod.
yeah.
So
And I'd be open to.
we do a little home and home.
I think so. We'll do the home series 2025 here on Stir the Pod 2026.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we gotta. Tommy, tell us what the pod's about.
Yeah, you know what his pod is probably called? He's probably a producer for that. What's it called? Challenge Maniac. That's why he gets so defensive when we bring it up. What's that? Tommy Tsunami's real name is Jägermeister or something like that. Like,
yeah, he's sifting through all those emails from Alton.
I mean, come on. I mean, that's got to be one of the funniest. Yeah, Mikey the Doctor, great point. We should have Tommy Tsunami hop on and do a solo pod of Jemmy's Legends store. I mean, that'd be awesome.
You would just feel you need a shower after that.
God, I'm surprised Mitos did that still. Which that clip, I don't know if you guys remember that the real AWLs out there of when Adam pulled the dagger, which we got to do another dagger coming up here. And I think there's been some rumors swirling that there might be a in-studio podcast, a live podcast the week before Thanksgiving. I don't know. I've heard some rumors.
So my question is, do we do another dagger pull?
Oh, I think we have to.
Because the past couple seasons have had dagger pulls.
Yeah.
Is there any way we can incorporate targets into it, or do we just do a dagger pull?
Should we bring back the double cross when we pull it up and there's like 2 X's? Like, God, I'm game for whatever.
You still have Pluto going?
Yes, I'm seeing this fight. Oh, Bananas with the bobblehead. Look at Bananas with the bobblehead.
Oh, is he holding it?
Yeah, in his shoulder. Wait. God, this is a great podcast where we're literally talking about an episode. People are like, "What are these guys even talking about?" Right now?
I see that.
There he is. Look at him.
Look, I had to go back to Pluto because I know everything else that's gone down, but I mean Camilla in this scene.
Oh,
Jesus, she looks
bananas.
Incredible.
And there he is. Oh, and there's 2. No, I think we got to do, and we've said it a million times. We need to bring back off-season podcasts, bring on guests, have a good time. Mike the Doctor writes, Mario Party tournament should determine the winner. Well, I don't want to get too off the rails, even though we're kind of off the rails. But me and Alex had a great Mario Party game on Friday night, which Alex, I mean, just picture, I think there's some guy named Reggie Miller that did something to Spike Lee where he was choking or something. All right. Alex in first place, doesn't know how to count, and he gave a star up to somebody and lost the entire game. He threw the game away.
I was trying to give money to everybody else, kind of like when CT and Casey did that when they got first place.
But here's the thing, Mikey the Doctor. I'll tell you how Alex plays Mario Party. He's a dirty player. He took a star from me when I was in last fucking place. And guess what? I beat Alex still.
Watch it.
Exactly. Because you know what? At the end of the day, I'm the GOAT at Mario Party. I'm Yoshi, and I'm a beast.
All is fair in love, war, and Mario Party.
Absolutely. But yeah, we got to bring back off-season pods. Bring on guests. We'll have Tommy Tsunami one week, Ryan McCord again, Mikey the Doctor. We got to bring all these people on. Like, we deserve it. They deserve it.
We will.
God. Well, I will, because I'm the only person all in on this fucking season. There's been rumors of you not being available next week.
Calm down.
God. All right, what do we got? MVP, LVP time?
Let's do MVP, LVP.
Well, you guys know what to do. The order of tonight's MVP, LVP will be decided by you guys. First one in the chat will give us MVP, LVP. What do we got tonight? What do we think? I just feel like it's going to be an Alex Trevor kind of night. 50-50 shot, but I'm also going to go out on a limb and say somebody's going to put Andy dot's brother Alex and then Trevor. So I'm going out on a no, I'm completely wrong. We got Tommy Tsunami in my best Flavor Flav voice. Yeah, boy, doing that. Mike and Doctor beat Ryan McCord to the punch, so I'll go first with the MVP tonight. And we might have to check the challenge historians on this one. How many consecutive MVPs for one person? This person has dominated the season, has owned the season. He's got his own bobblehead. He's got his own gear. It's got to be the Banana Man himself, Johnny Bananas. I mean, he has literally done the impossible. He gets the attention. He dominates. And guess what? He goes into elimination against Theo. And what does he do? He wins. What does he do? He throws in 3 people he hates. And the worst part about it is he's just going to go back into elimination again. It doesn't matter. But it's Bananas. He's the showman. He's showing his ass when he's walking down. He's clipping his toenails. He's getting wins. He's the challenge. He is the challenge.
That's a fantastic pick. And I think what part of what you were referring to, for any of our new listeners, every Friday typically we post out some new updated MVP, LVP stats from our full database. So just stay on the lookout for that every week. It's always kind of a fun, smirky little thing. I think Bananas might now have 4 or 5 MVPs in a row. I mean, he's definitely on a run here.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
All right, so my pick, I mean, Banana. It's just been so fucking Bananas heavy for the past month. My MVP, if I can't go there, I'm gonna go with Kylan.
Ooh, my man.
I feel like he's a pretty reliable backup option here. We talked about him in kind of the whole challenge landscape, but I mean, he finds himself where in our power rankings now he's basically at number 3 overall. He's had a good season. He's won 2 eliminations. I think he's won the past 2 dailies, right, since going individual. So good for him. Again, like I still am holding out some doubt on him. Like I want to see more, but at the same time, like he's showing me what I want to see from him. And so I'm going to go MVP Kylan tonight.
Good pick. I like Kylan. I mean, Kylan's been very solid this year. Had a great mini, won it, and is in a good spot. He's safe from elimination, obviously, tonight. And he's got a lot of alliances, too, which is very big. So
yeah, he does. And he's well-rounded. That's the thing. Like,
yeah, and he's very likable, too. I don't know who, like, hates Kylan.
No, he's my man.
Oh, come on. All right, LVP, who you got?
My LVP, I have a couple honorable mentions, but I think I'm just going to go – I'm going to go with the challenger. And I'm going to go with Laurel.
Ooh.
It kind of pains me to say it, but at the same time, like it doesn't when you are semi-quitting. I don't think this was like a full-on quit, I'm leaving. You got to give her something because she was there in the fucking heat, but at the same time, like finish it out. Like you can't let – I know this female cast is strong. We've talked about it, but at the end of the day, you're there next to Michelle, Olivia, and a one-footed Aviv. If your only thing is not get last, that should be a cakewalk. Even if you don't have to get first, we talked about how we thought there was a good chance you would get first. But just like if you look at her whole season, she really just kind of had an LVPS season. I mean, her whole thing was like, I hate Kara. I'm tied up with Bananas and Jordan. Like, they're going to protect me. I'm going to be this bully. And then, like, the second it switched to individuals, she got very quiet. She was doing a lot of hiding, just kind of hiding in with the Angels. So just a weird season for Laurel. So she's going to get my LVP.
Good pick. Good pick. My LVP tonight, and this is gonna be a stretch. Alex already pissed.
Oh God.
My LVP tonight is gonna be called "Forgetting Stir the Pod," and the reason why my LVP is "Forgetting Stir the Pod" is we have a member of Stir the Pod that is just forgetting about it, and as you guys know, the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall takes place in Hawaii. Where's Andy this week? He is in Hawaii. So forgetting he just has forgotten about us, guys. Like we need Andy back. And I feel like I just need to belt a song right now to really like get Andy back. And this is kind of how I feel about it. Just insert the word Peter for Andy here. And this is how I feel. This is me.
Everybody wishes that you were dead. Cause Peter, you suck. Peter, you suck. Peter, your music is fucking terrible. Peter, you suck. Peter, you suck. Peter, you don't do anything of value. Peter, you suck. Write some music, but instead you sit and write these bullshit songs. It's so self-loathing. Go see a psychiatrist. I hate the psychiatrist. Well, go see one anyway. I don't like the psychiatrist. You need to go see one. See a psychiatrist. I'm not going.
Great scene from Forgetting Sarah Marshall. If you guys have not seen that movie, go watch it now. I believe it's on Max. But he has forgotten about us, guys. We need him back. We need him. I need you guys to follow him on Twitter, send him a DM tonight. Be like, yo, Andy, we missed you tonight. Where the fuck are you? He's bailed on us, guys. We've talked about already tonight putting a help wanted, stir the pot. Hell, I might make that tonight and just put his little mugshot on there and be like, have you seen this man? Like, it sucks. I like having a 3-man squad, but it's all good though. Me and Alex carrying, we're all in, the BMFEP crew. It is what it is. But don't be surprised. Just don't be surprised if there's auditions next year. That's all I'm saying.
What an insane pick. So your pick was Forgetting Stir the Pot?
Yes, that's my pick.
You could have just given it to Andy.
Nah, it's Forgetting Stir the Pot.
Okay. What about honorable mentions? I have a few.
MVP or LVP you want to do first?
Let's do MVP.
MVP, I gotta go. MVP, I gotta go.
MVP, I would go with. I mean, you can go with Tori because she won. I was gonna go with. I was gonna go with Tori's top. The top that she was wearing in Deliberation. I mean, my God, how I don't know. I physically didn't understand the gravity and the physics that was working there. I mean, her top like it's somehow covered like like 10% surface area there, but was still holding everything up. It was insane.
I have an honorable mention for TJ with one line tonight, and we forgot to bring it up. When Kara said, what was it? It was, oh, it's going to be a double elimination. And then TJ's like, double elimination? Like, that felt very dodgeball-esque of, we didn't even make a quarterfinal, regional quarterfinal. Like, that was the vibe I got tonight. Like, that was such a great word.
That was good.
God.
What about LVP?
LVP tonight, Michelle finishing last again. Nehemiah
second to last.
But like she gets, you get what I mean. Yeah. Nehemiah going home.
Okay. I would say my two honorable mentions for LVP were production, just from an editing standpoint. We talked about the Bananas Angels removing Laurel before she was eliminated, and then the Corey misspelling.
That poor little 19-year-old intern.
And then my second LVP was going to be Champagne, because it made Theo blind in one eye. And that was kind of my takeaway from this episode, was not that like Theo was bad or anything. It's just the incredibly unfortunate thing that Theo had the Champagne thing, missed like 3 4 years worth of the challenge because of it. And then he comes back and like clearly isn't 100% Theo. So I would go champagne, popping champagne, etc.
There we go. There we go. Anything else from tonight's episode before we wrap it up? I just
I'm
think we're
good.
on a good pace.
I think we're in a great spot.
Are you Tony the Tiger?
Yes.
God,
It's not good.
it's great.
It's great.
I was getting the, you know what vibe I was getting there? And this is for just the Midwest people out there. Do you remember the Roush commercials? Roush, like the little lion that would scream and stuff when you said that.
Wait, is that different from the Bob Rohrman?
Yeah, no, I think that's the same thing.
Bob Rohr.
No, it's different. It's Roush.
I don't know, Roush.
God, I'll have to find the clip online. But that is it. Thank you guys. Alex, it's been a pleasure tonight. BMFEP, what else is new? But thank you guys for listening to a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I've been your host, Trevor. You can follow us on Twitter at Stir the Pod. You can follow us on Instagram at Stir_the_pod. Thank you guys. Love you.